When I was doing my study or research for some other topic, I came across some very interesting data. Therefore, I decided to spend some amount of time in this story as well, because this story gives you a larger picture of about 4 or maybe 4.5 million people working in IT industry itself, in India itself. And the picture is not rosy for people around the world. There could be little bit variation, but still the picture is not very rosy. So before talking about anything else, let us talk about the data points which I have gathered. And the data points suggest, in fact, I got the data points from the TCS. TCS is the largest IT company in India. They house around 450,000 employees across the globe, and they became the largest IT company in the world by market share about few days ago, though their market cap has gone down a bit, but they always have the potential to rise again and become the number one. Do you know who is the number one market leader or the company? That's Accenture. So it's competition between Accenture and TCS. So the data which I gathered from TCS cannot be ignored. Therefore, let's spend some amount of time on this data, and if you don't agree, do write me. If you agree, maybe you can share this data with other people also, and I would request you to bring them in this platform itself. So let us look at some important data. I was looking at this 339 page financial report of TCS. This is very comprehensive data. I know many of you don't find this topic interesting. Such an important indicators about how things are moving in IT industry. So let's walk you through. As I said, this report is quite large, but I have spotted the slide I am going to talk about. The slide will be 85. Let's look at the number of employees TCS has. They are about 450,000 employees. Out of that, interestingly, it's 36% women participation, very important, and very significant is their average age is 31 years, and they are very young company for that size. One very key indicator for company in general is they have only about 12% of attrition rate, while industry in general, and they have always been very consistent with the attrition rate somehow. So it appears that their policies are very nice. People don't leave the company quite often, whereas the industry's attrition rate has jumped even around over 20%. I have personally seen those numbers in last few years. So the competitors like Wipro, Infosys, and some of the other peers have seen very high number of attrition. But when I turn on the page and look at the slide number 86, I come to know some of very interesting data. It has listed its employees breakup or workforce by region. So let us see the data from India here. What we see, the people below the age of 30 are about, not people, men below the 30 age are about 28% in TCS, while women are 24%. But this changes very much when women reaches above 30 and men reaches above 30. However, for men it remains same, but this is not going to help men for long. By the time men turn 40, there seems to be a huge fall from 28% to 7%, while women from 24% to 1% by the time they are into their 40s. So out of 100 women, if there were 24 women who joined the workforce, now in TCS there is only one woman working at the age of 40. Why did they drop so significantly? And between 40s, 30s and in 40s, men tend to drop out from 28% to 7%. Key indicator, where these men are going. Are they leaving the company? And if they are leaving company, are they being replaced? If not, that means they are being replaced by very junior people, much lesser in experience. The story changes a little bit when we talk about other markets. North America, people tend to join TCS only let's say when they are in their 30s, okay, while only few percentage of women join TCS in North America. Why is that? We don't know. And in their 30s and their 40s, the number seems to be growing. The number seems to be growing, while the number seems to be very consistent for women, right? From their 30s to their 50s, in fact late 40s, till they reach 50. In fact, the number is rising slightly, though it is not a significant number. But what happens post 50? There are about 17% male still working, right? But women have left the workforce, but it is more in general consistent with overall data from the beginning itself. So not many people are joining, neither they are leaving in bunches. But what is happening here in contrast in India? Look at this. Above 50, there are only 1% of men in TCS. So out of 450,000 employees, there are about 350,000 employees in India, and only 1% of men are still working in TCS. That makes the number roughly around, absolute number is 3,500. So the people who joined the company in 30s, let's say in huge numbers, they are gone by the time they reach 50. Where? Are other companies taking these people away from TCS? Unlikely, because I looked at some of the other companies' data. I could not find this detailed information about how their employees are categorized, and the employees data by region wise. That is not there, but the information from TCS is itself so important, and the sample size is such large that we can use this information to extrapolate some of these numbers to draw some of the major conclusions, right? Those conclusions are, by the time you are 40, whether you are woman or man, you have very few chances or limited chances of surviving in the industry. What do they do then? When I speak to my friends in various other companies, they tell me this same story in various companies. Okay, this I'm talking about IT industry, specifically the services industry. Okay, look at some of the data about United Kingdom. People tend to grow, when they are into their 40s and 50s. Maximum people are joining TCS, right? And they are still there by their 60s, when they reach 60. And women number drops a little bit from 14% in their 30s to 4%. But again, they are not vanishing away. They are still there in the workforce. They are joining, and the numbers seems to be consistent, not a major variation. Look at Europe. Europe is again telling us the same story. The numbers are in line with the expectation, the broader expectation. Many people are still working while they are above the age of 50. So 3% women are working while only 12% women have joined. So the fall has not been too great. Around 11% men are still working when they are above 50, and the number is quite consistent, not too much of a difference. I would say still this is a fall, but not alarming fall which we saw here, right? APAC region, again APAC is Asia Pacific. The story in large replicates what the India story is all around. What's happening? Where these people are going? Are they being redundant? They are not useful to the company? We should ask these questions. I often see a lot of people commenting or appealing emotionally in the social media network about how they lost job due to pandemic or some other reasons, and they are looking and crying for help. But beyond likes or beyond sympathy, I'm not sure how many of them would really be able to get jobs. So how to deal with this problem? You suffer this problem. I belong to IT industry, therefore I also foresee this similar challenge for all of us. How do you handle this problem? First of all, this data suggests you why should you look at the company's financial statements very carefully, because this will help all of us to prepare for what is coming. And what is coming, by the age of 40 we might not have many people in the workforce who joined with us. The data from these slides suggest there are a couple of ways. First, if you are in the company, make sure that you read the company's financial statement. That financial statement is an admission from the leadership, how they want to grow, what are the key areas they are targeting, and how they plan to invest in those areas. The areas which they are targeting, they are likely to have more job vacancies. How many, we don't know. So these financial statements tell us where company is focusing on. These focus areas are going to produce more jobs, right? And other factor is, when you see those focus areas, look at the skills are in demand in those areas. Make sure that you keep yourself engaged in upskilling in your everyday life, and that upskilling is going to help you for very long, but it has to be very focused and directed. The next thing you can do, or all of us can do, is keep on working together with lot of people. Don't work in silos. When you work across verticals, work with many people, you are likely to speak to a lot of people who might share some interesting details. So that will increase your network, that will give you a visibility. Therefore, do invest your time in these activities. Otherwise, we all are facing a very dangerous future. With that, I will conclude this video, and hopefully I will come up with some very similar interesting insights on what's happening in the business world, what's happening in the technology space, and what is happening around in innovation category. So stay connected, stay safe, and take care.